Hey, Brad, what are we going to do tonight?
Well, I don't know. For the last 10 minutes, I've actually been sitting here trying to make it look like I am not so obviously shorter than you are.
I'm trying to hunch a little for you. Like Tobey Maguire, I hunch.
You know, it was much easier when we were doing another Cinema Snob movie and I could just have boxes to stand on. I need to just put this chair on like a tiny little box underneath it.
You are a tiny little man.
I am, which means I would make a great action hero. The next movie, I'll be just like Tom Cruise and hanging from an airplane.
Whatever gets you to sleep at night, man.
Oh, I won't be sleeping for weeks before or after that happens.
So is this a case where the same thing we do every night, Pinky? Try to ruin Rob's day.
So when I texted you about this, actually when we were talking about this last week, I go, because I hadn't seen this movie at the time when we were talking about it. It's a movie called Atomic Apocalypse. It just came out on DVD. And I asked you, I go, do you have free time this particular week? And I said, I haven't seen this. I'll let you know if there's no material to work with here. And
I take it you found material.
Oh no, I actually no. This is my way of saying there's really not much in this movie. I ruined your day by simply bringing you in here for no reason.
Well, good night, folks.
No, there is. I wrote to you like right after I watched it and went, there's enough material. This is Atomic Apocalypse. Now, to describe it,
that sounds like it should be a trauma film.
No, it doesn't have nearly. It only talks about radiation in this and doesn't show as much of the toxic waste.
The toxic atomic apocalypse Avenger.
I don't even know. I have questions about the apocalypse in this film. So to basically, in a sentence,
I have questions about the apocalypse.
I do in this movie. Absolutely, I do. So this is one where to describe just the basic plot of it's easy enough. It's a low budget post-apocalyptic movie, which means a lot of it takes place in the woods.
Of course.
A lot.
Just like 28 Days Later.
Yeah, they do count the days in this.
Nice.
They do, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So they do count. This is taking place a couple of years after this nuclear attack, I guess, happened, and so the plot is basically it's a mom, dad, and their daughter who's in her early 20s, basically just roaming around, and they find a lot of different people along the way, and they're all headed towards this bunker where they hear that they can live and everything.
So it's escape from upstate New York, or?
No, it's escape from one set of woods to another set of woods, all going to the bunker, which is called Salvation.
So it's the Blair Witch Apocalypse.
No, like, it's called Salvation so they can constantly be like, we're almost there to salvation.
Wow.
In the dialogue. So, again, like I said, that's who we're following in this movie. Mainly it's the mom and the daughter. And the questions I have about the apocalypse in this movie is the opening scene was actually pretty cool. The opening scene is on a beach, and it's showing this girl's aviators, and in the reflection of her aviators, you see these mushroom clouds go off.
Sounds like a fun shot.
It was a good shot, and then it pans out, and it was almost kind of a day after shot, where they're standing along the beach, and you just see this mushroom cloud off in the distance. It was a good shot, and I was like...
This is the lost Terminator film? Judgment Day?
Well, maybe it made more money than the last one, but I don't know if this one necessarily retcons the day after, but it skips ahead a couple years, and sometime in between that time, everyone is, for 80% of this movie, very obviously ADR'd.
I guess that's better than just saying 2 years earlier. Or if it was
theatrical.
I'll bet you're wondering how I got here.
That's exactly what would have happened if it was theatrical. Yeah, so it starts out by putting the days on there. It goes, so when the mushroom cloud goes off in the beginning, it says day 1. Then it jumps ahead.
A little like Law and Order, kind of like dong 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 every time.
Just the sound of an explosion going off. No, it says day 662. Can you guess why they would do that? Because it took me a couple of days in the movie
so that it can end up at 666?
Yep. I think it took until day 663 or 664 that I was like...
If it's anything I know, it's how to think like a shitty writer. Because I am one.
I was wondering what, like, were necessarily the rules of the radiation in this, because the family throughout a lot of it is getting chased by these militia members, in which the woman who's in charge of it opens up by saying, like, I can smell fear. But I think she literally can't, because she starts sniffing like a bloodhound and is chasing them through the woods.
In theory, she could probably smell that somebody shit their pants, so that would be like smelling fear.
Yeah, a lot of it, you could chalk up to, like, radiation is just really weird in this. There's day for night shots in this movie. Maybe that's simply because of the radiation. Because later on in the film, you see a shot of the moon. You remember the moon in the Guy Pearce... Time Machine movie?
Yeah.
It's that. It's like
it's all blowed up?
Yeah, somehow, I don't know.
Did they explain why?
No! This just happens an hour in the movie. You see it in the background.
We couldn't afford that special effects budget.
So
it's already like that.
The dialogue doesn't help at all. Like, so they're hunting, like, elk and all this stuff through it, and it's, like, got the funny, like, it's a shot from the camera with this funny, just kind of, like, scope slide over it. And... the girl says, well, the animals sure are acting weird. Dude's like, I don't know, I think it's all that radiation crap.
It's... okay.
It's 2 years later and the daughter's still trying to work her cell phone. Like, she's still trying to find a good signal.
So this is like Simpson-style radiation where there's this three-eyed fish running around then, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're really good at predicting these.
That's how it works.
Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding.
Do they make Mr. Burns eat it?
No one eats it, but so the radiation also causes CGI black flowers, because I'm not kidding, the original name of this movie was Black Flowers, and it's these little CGI little bursts of flowers and these purple smoke that will either get you high or it could heal you.
The funny thing is that may have actually tricked me into watching this film better than Atomic Apocalypse.
So many stuff is going to make you want to watch this movie, because so the daughter is frequently trying to get her cell phone to work. They're standing on top of a mountain. She's like, I know eventually I can find a good spot. I know I can find a good spot.
This is like your movie.
Yeah. No, in that I think we were looking for phone reception and where's going to be the one warm spot.
That's true.
In the Arctic
Spoiler
Ocean.
alert, there was no warm spot.
No, there wasn't. There was when we figured out how to plug the light in the next day.
Next time we're filming in June.
Yeah. So the daughter, they say to the daughter, why are you still trying to get your cell phone to work? And she says, she goes, well, look, the nuclear bombs went off, and all those nuclear plants, there's got to be some kind of, like, charge of nuclear energy around here somewhere that will eventually get my phone to work.
That's not... I can't even.
Then it pans over to a three-eyed frog. It's not a three-eyed fish. It's a three-eyed frog sitting there with a CG third eye in the middle of his head.
You're making that up.
No.
No.
And again, kind of like the moon.
No, honey, no. That's not how it works.
This happens...
That's a Simpsons reference!
That happens kind of late into the movie, too. I have a theory that this started out as a comedy, and I'll tell you why.
That would make more sense.
I'll tell you exactly why, because of a few different
There's a pie
things.
fight in the middle of it.
Again, you're close.
Oh my god!
You're wildly close. I'll get to the frat shenanigans later. Before that, we run into a cult who is led by Martin Scorsese's daughter. Dead serious. Playing a character named the Icon.
Okay, I was really wondering if, like, is it just written as it's supposed to be Martin Scorsese's daughter, or is it literally played by Martin Scorsese?
She's played by Martin Scorsese's daughter. Dominica Scorsese, I believe is her name.
Maybe that was her way of trolling her dad, just like she did with the Marvel stuff. Like, you want to complain about Marvel movies? Look at the shit I'm in.
I hope that means that he has seen this movie. So she is being she leads the cult of the stairs. That's what they're called. They're called the cult of the stairs because she is being led.
Stairs as in
literally stairs.
Or walk up.
Like those like little walk up steps that are on wheels that you push around. She is being pushed around on that by these cult members that look like they're out of Midsummer, and she's dressed like Lady Somerset from Wicker Man.
Brad, why stairs?
I guess that was the most convenient way for her to get her, which isn't even convenient, because when they run into her, the stairs keep getting stuck in the gravel on the ground, and she's standing on top of it like, lead us to the mountains where we will be closer to God and we can build our own stairway to heaven. And she gives the mom a necklace with this metal, like, almost like Tetris stair piece that comes in handy later. She says to the mom, she goes, "This is the symbol of the stairs." And later on, a dude shoots at the mom. It hits the symbol of the stairs, bounces back, and hits the guy in the head. So the stair god was really looking after the mom in this, like, hardcore.
Brad, my brain hurts.
Every now and then, it will cut back to them. Later on in the movie, when, again, they're scoping out, like, food or trying to find something, they'll hear something and look over, and it's those jackasses still trying to wheel her through the grass and getting stuck.
Why?
So then they happen upon a frat house that's called the Apocalypse Party. And
well, there's our apocalypse.
It's okay. Imagine the
we got Atomic, and now we've got Apocalypse.
Did you see the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? The one that Michael Bay produced? Okay.
No.
They're almost in this kind of plantation-looking house that looks like something out of... That kind of looks like the house from that movie. And they have a big blanket draped over the front that says, that's written, The Apocalypse Party. And it looks like just these frat guys have moved in. Like, people are just drunk and high, drinking, just sitting around. The mom and the daughter are now in the Apocalypse Party, and the leader comes out and just goes, "Welcome, I am DJ Apocalypso. Is there anything that you need?" And the mom goes, "Well, I could use some painkillers. I have a headache." And he just goes, "Yo!" And you just see these pills slam into his hand that someone tossed him immediately off screen, and goes, "We got plenty of painkillers. We are drunk and we are all fucked up." I love this guy. Like, the daughter wants to stay here because they're all drinking and getting high off the CGI black flowers. Like, they've kind of got it made. But the mom wants to leave. She's like, they've resigned themselves to death, because DJ Apocalypso is like, yeah, we're all gonna die soon. We just kind of want to live it up and get drunk, and then we'll die.
This sounds like a high school student film.
It's kind of written like a college movie.
DJ Apocalypso.
DJ Apocalypso. DJ Apocalypso was my favorite character in this, because DJ.
I'd say it sounds like a college movie, but that alone just sounds like something like a high schooler.
Yeah, but it's also got jokes like a sitcom, because the mom is frequently saying stuff like, "You're being a grumpy Gus." And then she'll say a joke. She'll say, "Why did the tomato blush?" "Because he saw the salad dressing."
She sounds like Cyril from Archer. Cheesy Pete.
Yeah, she does that through a lot of this. She has lines that you would see in like an 80s PSA or something like that. So when they leave, because DJ Apocalypso like kind of puts the moves on her a little bit, and again, she wants to live. She doesn't want to just stay there and drink and die. So when she leaves, she goes, "Look me up when you wisen up." Leaves DJ Apocalypso and his crew there. The daughter is pissed off.
That also happened in Bohemian Rhapsody.
This, you know what?
The gay guy's like, "Look me up when you wisen up," and then he shows up.
It feels like someone doing like their own. Like, it feels less like, even though there's no zombies in this movie, it almost feels like a Walking Dead knockoff. Because of how they're kind of going from one group. It does that thing that you see in movies like this a lot, where they, or shows even, where they happen upon a place that seems good and seems legit, like the Apocalypse Party in this, but then there turns out to be something wrong with it, and either they need to fight against someone or they need to leave. In the case of this, I was like, why don't you just stay? How much, like, let's be honest, how much longer are you going to live in this universe anyway?
It's a legit point.
Just drink. And the daughter wanted to stay.
If I were in that movie, I would just drink.
It goes on for a little bit longer, where there is a villain in this who's this guy named Joe, who he's really wooden, and even though he's like the villain, there's not much you can really say about this character. So they have this fight with him, and he and the daughter bang at one point. The villain and the daughter hook up a couple of times in the movie. So
nothing surprising.
At the end, I've got to tell you the last 5 minutes of this movie, because it is bonkers. Keep in mind, they've now walked quite a ways from the Apocalypse Party. They've walked far of it. They're at the beach, and they've there's been this gunfight where people are killed, and it's like they've resigned themselves to death, where the mom and the daughter are just walking out into the water.
As it should be participating in this movie.
As if they're going to drown themselves. And I'm sitting there going, why did you leave the frat house? Like, you should have really just stayed in the frat house.
If I were in this movie, this would be the shortest movie ever, because I'd be like, all right, I'm just sitting here in the frat house drinking. Like,
here's why I'm so glad I was thinking about that, because whoever was writing this must have been thinking that too, because DJ Apocalypso shows up with his frat.
Yes!
And runs into the water.
Yes!
He sends them over. He literally goes, the party isn't over. And he sends his drunken frat people into the water to pull out
my God.
the mother and the daughter.
Right. This movie redeemed itself, clearly.
It goes on, like, for a few minutes longer. They're healed by the magic flower.
What was that character in Futurama that was partying 24/7? Slurms McKenzie?
Yeah.
And he's got a party 24/7, or else he's fired.
The party keeps going. DJ Apocalypso not only saves her life, the mom is like, I guess I am like a cockroach. We all survive.
Tough man endorses responsible drinking. Now let's party!
They walk off into the sunset, and I'm like, okay, well, here's where it's going to end. Them and the frat group, they're walking off in the sunset. But no! They walk into the arms of the Stair Cult. The Stair Cult, like...
This is all in the last 5 minutes?
Yes, like,
Bullshit.
Scorsese's daughter is in open arms, the mom runs, they embrace, give each other a hug, they're all cheering on the stairs, on the Stair Cult, like... And then it cuts to black. And then there's a mid-credit scene.
And that's when they all dance to the Ghostbusters theme.
It does involve a baby, because when it says 9 months later, and
oh my God,
the daughter has given birth to the villain Joe's baby, they're sitting there all happy, this happy family.
It's like Rosemary's Baby. He has his father's eyes.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No. The baby looks over at the camera, and there's a CGI third eye that he has in the middle of his head. That is just
perfect ending.
Blinking out of sync.
That should be the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
The baby winks, but it's with the third eye.
Yeah, it is. Like,
wink.
Yeah, this CG third eye in the middle of this baby's head. I sat there and went...
Alright, this movie redeemed itself. This actually sounds amazing now. It sounds like a long wait to get to the best shit, though.
It is, and I'll tell you why, because the movie is too long. The movie's almost 2 hours long.
Fuck that noise.
This movie is buried beneath it. This is a comedy. Everything I've described to you is what happens in a comedy like this. You could take out 40 minutes of this movie, edit it down to 80 minutes, you have yourself a pretty funny, entertaining, direct-to-video apocalypse satire.
Okay.
But there is a lot in this movie that's not treating it like a comedy. That is...
For shame.
There's a lot...
Filmmakers.
It feels like there was...
You had a great idea and you ruined it!
Like...
Stupid fat hobbits!
Because there were parts where, like, I was sitting there just going... Oh man, this is kind of a long sit. When it would be these stretches where they would meet some old person, random other old people, in little side things that would kind of go nowhere, and Laura wanted me to do the dishes this day, and I did, and I was planning on doing it after the movie, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take a break halfway through and do the dishes now.
You're an awful husband.
Oh, but I did get I got the dishes done. Earlier than I intended. Oh, because the movie was boring.
Atomic Apocalypse.
But like, if you really edited this down, because it feels like it's... I don't know this for sure. Maybe this isn't the case. But it feels like the kind of thing that happens when one person wants it to be more serious than another person, and another person wants it to be
actually
funnier.
bet that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know for sure, but like, this is the kind of thing...
The same thing happened to Schindler's List.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank God we eventually got Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
The real Schindler's List.
Exactly. Obviously, the Holocaust makes for great comedy, according to Roberto Benigni.
Then we had the Asylum version, which was Jacob the Liar. So, 80 minutes of this movie, I would be like, that's pretty funny, and it's funny to describe. But it's too long. Like, so much of it needs to be cut. This almost looked like watching a rough cut, especially how bad the ADR was in it. The ADR is really bad.
I don't
know if this could really ruin your day, because watching this movie kind of made my day.
The ending made my day. Up until then, it was just... I feel like a billion brain cells were crying out in vain and was suddenly silenced. It was just hurting my head.
That's the radiation.
And then I was growing a third eye, so...
We're on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put this on, like, day-ruining levels?
About a 4, maybe.
A 4? What was Norm of the North, like a 5 or a 6?
Yeah, just because I'm more upset that Norm of the North exists. And I was also more upset at the time that, like, for as shitty as it still sounded, like, more imaginative than, like, some other animated films I've seen this past year. So.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean it's necessarily better than those, but I'm like, why do they have imagination? Norm of the North has more imagination? It's still garbage.
Arctic Dogs, yeah, definitely.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, it sounds like I'd find this almost, like, just entertaining for the way it pulls out a miracle ending.
It does. When it gets to the Stair Cult and the frat guys...
Still sounds like such a long wait, though, so it's definitely a 4.
It is. It is a long wait.
This ruined 40% of my day, Brad.
Oh,
good job.
I guess you'll have to let me know when you see Onward after this if it heightened or lowered the day or anything, which I'm seeing the movie too after this as well, to give you an idea of when this is being recorded.
I don't know. The trailers I've seen don't look good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. I always say, like, How to Train Your Dragon was one where I thought the trailers looked terrible. And I walked out of that movie going, like, that was amazingly great. I love that movie.
Well,
I'm like, it's possible that Onward actually is really great, and it just was a shitty trailer.
Well, there is a knockoff on video right now that's called Homeward, starring Tom Green and Joey Lawrence. Dead serious.
Okay, that actually ruined 90% of my day.
There! I did it!
That was a 50% increase. 40% was ruined by this stupid movie, the other 50% ruined by that! You asshole!
Perfect. Join us next week.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Join us next week for Amityville Island, the sweet cross between Jaws and the Amityville.
No.
Oh, that exists.
No.
Now the day ruining's up to 100. 95.
No.
Alright.
Yeah, it's up to 95.
We'll see you next time.
No.